that measures and improves the quality of important data on an ongoing basis. What does that mean is, let's say, if you take any business organization, there will be different kind of functional units or business units. Let's take HR unit or finance unit or customer care or IT or sales, so and so. Okay, each and every business unit or the module have their set of own data that they really deal with the people. Okay, so when they're dealing with the people, right, they need to ensure that whatever the data they are storing and whatever the data they're trying to retrieve to improve their business should be perfect. There should not be any issues. Okay, let me tell you a classic example. Let's say I have an organization, I have a model called, I have a department called call center department. Okay, so in the call center we have the customer database. Okay, so I told to my customer care department manager saying that, let's say we would like to run a promotional campaign offer. Okay, so send emails to all of our top 1 priority customers or call them personally and campaign the offer. Okay, they said, yes, boss, we can do that. So what immediately they will do is they will try to send an email or they will try to call it. Okay, so how they will reach the customers is through voice or through text. Okay, so when I say through text, they can send an SMS or they can send an email. Okay, so let's say unfortunately they are not able to maintain the customer information, something like an email or the mobile number correctly in their database, then they could not able to reach the customer. Okay, the reason why they are not able to maintain means it could be many issues. There could be a problem in the data point of entry, okay, or there could be problem in the upstream applications. Let's say call center application is getting data from the different application where the people are entering the wrong data. So there could be many possible to get the incorrect or dirty data into the system. So because of this incorrect email or because of this incorrect mobile number, they could not able to reach the customer and they could not able to continue with the new product or campaign offer. So that is a business loss for them. This is one of the simple example. Going forward means in my demo class I will show a couple of the mappings that how it will really used. Okay. So the second point is it ensures the data dependent business process and applications deliver the express results. So as I told that why, because one module or one particular business unit may give the input or may send the data to some other applications. So we need to ensure that wherever we are passing the data from one application to or one module or from business unit to another business unit, data should be perfect. It should not be any data quality issues. So I was talking about data quality issues a lot more in the previous slide. So let's go through what is the data quality issues. So these are all the basic building blocks of the data quality. How do you say your data is correct, right? When I say, yeah, my data is perfect, there is no data quality issues, but how do you measure? What is the building blocks? So these 6 are the building blocks of the data quality. The first one is the completeness. Basically, what data is missing or unusable. Let's say you have a customer record, you don't have the customer phone number, or you don't have the customer address to send a shipment. Okay, that is called completeness. Okay, some of important data is missing in your customer database. Next one is the conformity. So what data is stored in a non-standard format? Let's take a customer date of birth or invoice date or something like that. So your organization, there are some standards and rules that you need to maintain the invoice date or the customer date of birth in a specific format. Let's say a specific format DD/MM/YYYY. So this is specific format. My organization told me that I need to follow these rules and regulations. Okay, so there could be possible that people may entering YY/MMY, or there could be something like they'll be entering 4th of December 2030. Okay, these are all the conformity issues. You are not following the specific set of standard for given set of data attribute. And the third one is the consistency. So what is mean by consistency? So what data values gives conflict information? So what does that mean is, let's say you have 2 customer records, customer name is same, but the address is different. So let's say you want to ship a shipment to your customer, you are not sure whether you need to send to the first address or second address. But because you are not properly maintaining your customer database, you cannot send to the 2 shipments, right? It is a loss of business for you. Okay, that is called the consistency. Your data values are not correct. One address is overrating the another. One address is competing with another. So this is all conflicting. Next one is the accuracy. So what data is incorrect or out of date? Okay, so when I say out of date, let's say if you take a credit card or any banking department, they have the credit card business units, right? So in that payment due date and different kind of attributes will be there. So when I say payment due date, it could be possibly it could be a next month or 1 month now from or 45 days from now. It should be the next payment due date, but it cannot be something like a 10 years from now or 30 years past now. Okay, so you need to make sure that what data is incorrect or what is out of date. Or if you take a customer date of birth, okay, it cannot be something like a future date, right? Customer date of birth cannot be future date. That doesn't make any sense. The next one is the duplicates. What data records or attributes are repeated? Okay, let's say unfortunately from the point of entry, okay, so one customer information is entered many times. So basically you are entering the duplicate records again and again because of so and so reason. It could be possible that there is no validation check when you are entering the data, or that could be many issues. So same data is getting repeated. So when you are having the same data getting repeated, if you want to call to the same customer, there could be possible that many customer care representative will be calling to the same customer and talking about the promotional offers. So we need to make sure that whatever the data we maintain, it should be unique. It should be free from duplicates. And the last one is the integrity. So what data is missing or not reflected. So it is some kind of a relationship between the data. Let's say there are two people, husband and wife, they are working for the same organization or they are living in a same household. How we are trying to link these relations, some kind of relationships. Guys, are you getting? Do you have any concerns, or am I going fast or slow? Tell me.
Yeah, it is perfect actually. The speed which you are going is perfect.
Okay. So next one is yeah, great. Next one is the data quality is a major problem. So in the previous slide, I talked about building blocks of the measurements. So you may ask a question that how data quality is really important. Okay, so what is the business problems that we see in the market? So these are all the some of the articles that I collected over the web, or these are the some of the articles that I collected from my previous experience of the project. Okay, so what this is poor data quality cost US business more than 600 billion each year. Or you may somewhere you can see that 10 to 25% of the data records contain inaccuracies. Or accurate data records in a typical customer base may range from 25 to 30%. So these are all the losses for the business. Why? Because they are not maintaining their data properly. So not only that, if you look at Europe or US countries, right, there are some federal regulations. So particularly if the particular organization is running business, means they need to make sure that their data should be perfect and they should report the complete information to the some kind of government. Otherwise, they need to pay a lot of penalty. Okay, we don't have that kind of rules and regulations in India. That is the reason there is a lot of problem with the Indian data quality. So, but if you
Data
look at
quality, one small doubt. Sorry to interrupt. Actually,
no problem.
Yeah, data cannot be audited by external agencies, right? It will impact the privacy of the data and also the confidentiality. So, how the external agency can determine the poor quality of data?
No. So how it goes is, right, if you take in US, right, so there is the insurance department, mortality and insurance department. So you know the term insurance, right? So India in term insurance, how it works is, let's say if the person of the policyholder dials, right? So dependent or nominee of that particular died person will go to the particular insurance department and they will claim. But if you look at other, mainly in the some of the US insurance companies, right? So how they will approach is, right? It's an insurance company responsibility to settle the claim.
Okay.
Okay. So in that scenario, okay. So let's say I'm running an insurance organization in the United States. Okay, I need to make you sure that. Why? Because there is a particular company in the US, some kind of a government company. So they will give all the death reports that happened in the last 15 years or last 15 months or last 15 days. So they will send all those information to the individual insurance company. So insurance company has to claim those settlements and they need to show all the perfect records. So this is a customer, this is a policyholder, this is the death rate, this is the expiry date. So I have settled this claim, so and so. So all this information they need to submit to the federal government to shake is that, yes, I have settled the claim. You're getting, Kirti?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is one of the simple example. And there will be something like a Navy or federal or military. So there are a lot of business use cases in relation to this.
Okay.
So this is the important slide. when we are talking about the data quality or the data profiling component architecture. So if you know about the Power Center admin console, that will be easy to understand, but not a problem. Okay, I will try to explain. So let me see whether my admin console is started. Yes, this is the admin console. Okay, let me open the presentation. So this is the architecture. Okay, so this architecture is overwritten from the Informatica version 9.0. Okay, so before that, they have mainly concentrated on the traditional kind of ETL. You have some data in somewhere, you write some connectors and get the data and do some cleansing and transformation right into data marts. So that was the story before 9.0. But as the technology evolves but the requirement from the field evolves, right? Informatica product management, they come up with the data quality, data profiling, data masking, master data management, lot more to tell. Okay, so they have rewritten the entire architecture where they have introduced the new services, something like the analyst report and the model repository service. I'll show that. So these are all the data quality clients leftmost, and I will show each and every building block. These are data quality clients. Middle one is this service stuff. This is the infrastructure, and these are the data providers. Missing means how we are getting the data. First, I will show the administrator console. So this is my administrator console. It is running on my laptop. So I'm logging into as an administrator. So basically, this is the administrator console. Generally, the Informatica administrator will have access to this. So here we have a node on this. This node is called a gateway node. Here, this is a gateway node is hosting all these different services. Okay, every communication will happen through this particular node. And I have created a Power Center repository service, and even I have created a Power Center integration service. So people who have been already working with the Power Center, they might be knowing these two services. And the third one is specific to the data quality. So this is called MRS. This is a model repository service. Okay, so whenever we create a, I will open this. So this is my developer tool. This is similar to your Power Center Designer. So in the Power Center Designer, what you do, you create a mapping. To create a mapping, what you do, you connect to the repository service, you enter username, password, and security domain, and first you create a source object, and you create a target, you create a reusable transformation, you create a mapping, all those things. So all the stuffs will happen in the Power Center Designer. Similar to that, in the Informatica data quality, this is a new tool called Informatica Developer. So in this IT developer or the stewards will connect to this and they will create the mappings, which will be stored in this repository. It's called MRS, model repository. So this service is running in this domain. This is called MRS, model repository service. So these are the different projects. In the Power Center, we have a folder concept. Here we have the project. Inside a project, we have these folders. These are the different folders we have. And these are the physical data object, reference tables, maplets, mappings. Okay, so just I will show a workspace. So this is the this is similar to your mapping designer. Okay, so this is called workspace. This is the object explorer. This is the if you want to run the preview of this particular object, you just right click and just run data viewer. Okay, so this console is called the Informatica developer, and this is mainly used by the developers or the stewards. Where they will create the mappings here, which is similar to Power Center Designer. So whenever I create any mapping or anything, any stuff I created in this workspace, everything will be stored in the MRS. This particular MRS service will be running in the administrator console. This is called MRS model repository. This is specific to data quality. So the next one is the data integration service. Okay, so this is similar to your Power Center integration service. So whenever I run let me start the service. Okay, so whenever I run a mapping in the MRS, that will be getting executed by the DAS. DAS is called Data Integration Service. So how do we run is, okay, so here we have a Windows preferences. So data integration service. So this option list what are the different data integration service which are available in the domain. So I can select one particular one and set as a default and just run that. So just if you just right click and run the mapping or go to run and run the mapping. So whenever I submit a request on mapping, that will be getting executed by the data integration service.
So all the mappings can be run only with the DAS in developer.
Correct. And even we have the CLI also to execute the mapping. Okay, let's say I want to schedule. Okay, I want to run some couple of mappings daily at 5:30 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. some kind of a batch. So for that we have a different concept called something like you deploy this mapping as an application. So we have an option called deployment. Okay, so this will be deployed to the DAS as an application, and that application. So all the mappings which are deployed, it comes in the application tab. Later you can use the InfraCMD MS run mapping, where you need to pass that application name and MS run mapping. So through CLI, you can schedule the mappings to run automatically.
Okay. It is nothing but like control auto scheduler.
Yeah, it's not, but auto scheduler is a third-party utility. But Informatica provides this deployment concept just to execute the mapping from the CLI. Okay. You can write any shell script to call this InfraCMD CLI. Any third-party tools, Tivoli and all you might have been known, scheduling tools in the Power Center.
Unix.
Yeah. So you can use the tools to call this InfraCMD command. So it will get executed.
Okay. Or without using third-party tools, also we can schedule it internally.
Yes. Write a shell script, call the InfraCMD.sh MS run mapping. Job is done for you.
Okay.
So this is the data integration service. So the next one is the Enlist service. So this is mainly used by the business Enlist. I will start this. It will take little time. Okay, so this is the Enlist tool. This is we need to take this URL and copy paste in the Internet Explorer or any browser and log into that. And that is mainly something like you create a data object and you profile the data and you see what is the problem with the data. Okay, so it will take some time to start by, because this particular service is dependent upon the DA service. Okay, anyhow, I will show this AT service as and we go through the presentation. So let DA starts. So AT is mainly used by the Enlist user, where they will create the profilings and scorecards. The next fourth service is CMS, that is called the Content Management Service, which is responsible for the content objects. So here I have an object called the reference tables. Okay, so all these reference tables will be managed by this service called Content Management Service. So I will show once the service is up. Let's go back to the presentation. So this is a developer tool. I have shown you developer tool here, and the admin browser. Yes, this is the admin browser where we are performing all the service related actions. And the Enlist browser, that is nothing but the Enlist client, which is about to come up. And the report browser and web service we are not covering in this class or the training. So these are out of our activities. So this is the server part, where this is a domain. So the domain is hosting this admin service, Enlist service, content management service. These are the different services we have. Model repository service, and this is a data integration service. Data integration service will respond for executing web service mapping or normal mappings or profiling service and all. Okay. And below one is the data providers. How do you want to send data to your mapping? It is a file, or it is a relational, or it is a mainframe applications or web service. It can be anything. So these are all the data providers. And the rightmost is the infrastructure. So it means what are the infrastructure I require to create a mapping or to run a mapping. Okay. So when I say domain, it has to store all the domain metadata, right? But because in the domain we have many stuffs, right? I have a node, I have services, I have some connections, I have different license and all. So all this should be stored in some kind of metadata. So those metadata will be stored in the domain database. So LDAP is nothing but let's say if your organization is maintaining some kind of security policies or some kind of security mechanisms. Okay, so that is LDAP. So if the organization is maintaining LDAP, even we can Informatica supports the LDAP configurations. So that's only the persons who are in this LDAP authentication can access to the Informatica tools. And the staging and caching database. This is mainly used for the reference tables. And the profiling database is for the when you run a profile. I will show profiling under what does that. Basically, this profiling database will store all the profiling objects. And model repository is some similar to your. Let's say when you create I have created a mapping. This information will be stored in the XML format. But where it will store? It will store in the model repository database. So there is nothing but this is your model repository database. days is up. Let me start the 80. Guys, any concerns on the present slide on the architecture point of view? Or any confusions or any questions before I move to the data quality process?
No.
Okay.
No, it's clear.
Yeah, fine. So next we go to data quality process. Basically, how a data quality project starts in real time. Okay, the first step is, let's say I have some customer data. It can be a file or it can be relational. Okay, so I don't know what is in it. I want to get to know about that. So there it comes, profile. So you take that object, customer database object. Okay, you take a customer file. To make it simple, take a customer file and you profile it in the business analyst tool or the developer tool. What does that? It will tell you is it will give the complete information of the data. Let's say you have some 2 columns or 3 columns, name, address, city. It will tell what are the different names you have in the particular name column and how many nulls you have and what is the maximum length of that and what is the data type. Okay, what is the top 5 values or top 10 values and what is the statistics and what kind of patterns. When I say patterns, let's say zip code, generally I expect any numbers, right? So it will tell something like a 999. It means that all the codes are numbers. When I say name, I would expect it could be a alphabets. So it will represent as some kind of pattern XXX. It means that so all the names are alphabetical, or all the zip codes are numerical, or all the phone numbers are numericals. So that kind of labeling or pattern information it will give. So, and one more thing is when you profile the data, let's say a country column is there. So there are some 500 records in the country column. Okay, 500 data. So out of that 500, there are some 200 or 300 is null, and remaining some 220 are correct, and some are some junk data it is passing. Basically, it will give you complete information of what kind of data you have in a specific column. Simple to tell. So once you profile the data, you will. So I have profiled the data. I found out my country column is there are some 500 records. In the 200 are unique and remaining 200 are null. So my business organization, my rule is that I need to make sure that country column should not have any nulls and it should have the unique standard value. So when I say unique standard value, USA can be represented in many ways. It can be represented as United States of America or U.S or U.S.A or just America or US. There could be many ways of representation, but I need to maintain some kind of standardization. Okay, so I want to make sure that I want to maintain for every country ISO 3 country code. For United States of America, it is USA. For China, it is CHN. Brazil, it is a BZT. For Canada, it could be CAN. So we have a different kind of standards. So my rule, my business ask is that I need to maintain all this data in a specific format that can be used in further downstream applications. So there you need to maintain some kind of standards. So that is called, you define all those metrics or all those solutions that you wanted. That is second thing. First, you will profile data, you will identify what is the problem. Second, you come up with some kind of solutions or standard that I need to maintain this kind of data for this kind of problem. Simple. So third one is the design and implement DQ rules. Okay. So how do you make sure that your data is correct? Let's say some null characters or some special characters, some additional spaces or some periods, some junk characters that is coming. So you need to clean them up. How do you clean them up? You create some kind of a mapping or rule. When I say rule, it is kind of similar to maplet, but there is slightly relation between the rule and maplet. Okay, you need to create some mappings or maplets. So that is called step 3. You design and implement DQ rules. So this third will be done in the developer tool. Okay, so this is third will be done by the developer tool, by the stewards or the IT developer. So business developer will create the rules and mappings for the solutions defined in the step 2. And fourth one is deploy DQ services. So you have defined the mapping, but you need to run the mapping against your data set. So that is called deployment. So you need to deploy this mapping as an application or directly run that mapping through DAX. That is called deploying DQ service. You run the mapping and see whether your logic or everything is working correct. So next one is review exceptions. Let's say you run the mapping, but there could be some chances that you may not completely implement the 100% logic in the mapping. There could be some business requirement that, okay, you need to manually view the record and see whether it is a correct record, or if it is a record is incorrect, you make manually some changes, and if it is a duplicate record, you consolidate. So that is called review exceptions. Some manual interaction may require. At that time, you need to see the data and correct the data manually, and again send for reprocessing. 1 second. So DAC is up. Let me start the analyst service meanwhile.
Sandeep, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can the developers themselves go for the business rules?
Yes. If he knows the business.
Okay.
Okay. Because let's say you are an analyst. Okay. You know more about the business rather than the technical skill of the tool. Okay. You profile the data. You will tell that developer, we are getting some kind of bad data in this so-and-so column of the table. Please correct that. Okay, you will pass that information to me. I'm a developer. I'm full efficient in this using this product in and out. So I create a mapping or I create a rule to solve your problem. Got it?
Okay.
So that's what data quality, how data quality is designed in a specific role level. So for steward will be using this, analyst will be using the analyst tool.
Okay.
So next, review exceptions, you manually see how data is that. You need to correct manually, you need to duplicate, or you need to consolidate. The last step is the monitor DQ targets. Okay. So what is monitoring DQ targets? You've done everything, but how do you make sure that your logic and everything is correct, and you should be able to see some progress, right? You need to track, you need to see the progress after implementing the data quality. There is nothing but monitoring DQ targets. So we create some kind of scorecards where you can see that, okay, after implementing my logic, I'm getting this kind of some kind of valid data. So here you can see that I have created some metrics where it shows some kind of scores. Each and every score represents the color coding. It means that this is a good, this is acceptable, this is the unacceptable. So some kind of scorecards you create and you track the data quality. So before implementing data quality, I have 30% of null records. After implementing, I have only 10% or 5% or 3%. So that you should be able to measure your data quality that can be done by the scorecard. This is available tool. So any questions in this slide before we move to the next slide?
I'm good.
Okay, perfect. Let's move on to the next slide. So, Informatica data quality. How Informatica data quality is different from other tools? Basically, what it provides. It provides a powerful analysis. That is nothing but the first step I talk about here, the profiling. That is nothing but analysis. After analysis, you need to some cleansing, or you want some kind of matching, or you want to handle some exceptions, you want to do the reporting, you want to monitor. So all these functionalities are provided in the Informatica data quality. I put a here. One second, let me go to that slide. Okay. So what is the frequent requirement we get in a data quality business project? So you want to do some kind of so profiling. Next one is the parsing. Okay, standardization. We'll talk about standardization. Let's say your data is not standardized. Let's say country is coming with a different kind of value, something US, United States of America, America. So you want to perform some kind of standardization. That is step 2. And address validation. Let's say if any shipping department they need to send the shipment. So before they send the shipment, right, in the mainly in the Europe and in US countries, they validate using the address validator DQ transformation to find out whether the given address in the Europe is correct or not. Okay, how that internally works is they use a address structure engine which will internally look up in a address files called MD files that is provided by address structure. They will say whether the given address is correct or not. I will show you an example in the next slide. So next one is the matching and deduplication. Okay, I will tell you an example. Let's say one bank acquired another bank. Okay, let's say bank one is acquired another bank. And after acquiring bank one, CEO wants to know who are the common customers for these two banks to give some promotional offers. Why? Because they have the account in both banks. So you want to encourage the customers to get more business. So you want to find out who are all the common customers between the banks. So he cannot open the two customer database and manually look for finance, right? So there should be some kind of feature or tool that match on the name and give all the duplicate names, or match on the address, give me all the duplicate address, or match on an organization name, give all the duplicate organization records. So that there is nothing but a matching. You try to find duplicate records, or you try to find a identity or similarity or relation. So when I say relation, husband and wife, that could be a relation, right? So there are two records. Okay, let's say my wife and my record is there, and house address is same. It means that I'm trying to perform matching on address. So here, since the address is matched, I will get these two records considered by one. So then I can think of that. Oh, so these people are residing in the same household. It means that there could be some relation. So let's say if you, this is mainly use case in the telecom department. So let's see what is the teleservice they are providing for the husband and wife. So they will try to cross sell and upsell. They try to find some relation so that they can increase their business. So last one is the monitoring and reporting. So you create a scorecard to track your data quality, how data quality is getting progress after implementing all these business rules. So this is what I am talking about profiling. So when you profile, what you see, you are able to identify the patterns, and you are able to identify what kind of formats and what are the data quality issues, and you can drill down actual to data. So when we do the profiling, let's say country column is there, just right click and it will show the complete record of the country column. This is what. So this is my profiling object created in the analyst tool. So I have a source in that I have, these are all the different columns: customer number, customer type, name, address, city, state, zip code. So these are all the different columns. So, sorry, let me put a normal mode. So zip code is having, so I want to see what is the values in the zip code. Okay. So these are the different patterns for the zip codes. Okay. So it says others 21 and 999920. What do you mean by 9999? So whenever I get any digit in between 0 to 9, I represent that one as a 9. All the numbers will be represented as a 9. All the alphabets represented as a X. Okay. So these are all the predefined labelings are already defined in the code, so that you are able to identify that, yes. So after profiling, I could be able to see that my zip code is having this kind of patterns. Others 21, it means that this is literally some wrong data. All these 21 other records are literally. It means that you may getting some null data, you may are getting some string data or some alphabets or some noisy characters. So this is a top one priority for the business. So you need to see why there are 21 records which are not having the correct zip code. So this is, second one is there are 20 zip codes which are of 4 digits and 136 are the 5 digits. So it gives this kind of discover information for the customer. Okay. So it will tell that, okay, my zip code is having this kind of problems. Let's see how do I need to act that. So this is called profiling. You try to get to know more about our data using the profiling. Any doubts? Okay, let me go to the next slide. So the next one is the parsing or standardization. Let's say you have done the profiling on the customer object and you found that zip code is wrong or country code is coming as a incorrect standardization values. You standardize those values in the standardization transformation or parsing. So what is meant by parsing? Let's say you have a one column in that you are getting a lot of information: first name, middle name, last name, prefix, postfix, title, all those things. But your business requirement is you split all these individual column information to single columns. So let's say first name, last name, middle name. All three values are coming in a column one. Let me split out these three attributes to separate three columns: column underscore first name, column underscore last name, column underscore title. So I use the data quality parsing transformation to split multiple attributes into separate columns. So what is the business value is, I will come to know, give me a customer records who is having the same first name, or who is having the same title, or who is having the same gender. So I could able to find out more information after parsing. Getting it?
Splitting the data into multiple levels.
Correct. Yes. So next I will show an example of what data quality transformation can do in a simple nutshell. So these are three different records. Okay, product ID, brand, and description. Let's say I have a product ID, something like this. This is a value. Product ID is 90017, and brand ID is iPod, and description is 4GB Red iPod Nano Special Edition. Okay, so I can use a data quality parsing transformation to split this description 4GB Red iPod to multiple attributes. So that, let's say if you want to find out, I want to do some kind of aggregation. Okay, so at the end of the evening, store manager will ask me a report. Sandeep, get me a report of iPods of size 4GB of red color that are sold today or yesterday or day before yesterday. Since I have the split kind of information, I can simply use a aggregated transformation after data quality and do group by based upon the size or based upon the brand, and can give the sum of the products that you have sold. So that is easy to achieve, right? If you don't have a data quality transformation, how we can achieve that? But we can achieve in the Power Center, but you need to write a lot of scripts and you need to maintain the complex procedure. We can do in the Power Center also, but it is very complex and maintaining also very difficult. But when it comes to data quality, it is very user friendly. Okay, you can use the different parser transformations, you can maintain it very easily. So using the parsing, you can split the multiple attributes in a single column to different output columns. So this is called how parsing will split the data to free text columns. So next one is the, let's say I have organization name, country code, currency. So this is my input data. I have three orders, organization name, country code, and currency. So my business requirement is that, okay, get me the country code using the currency. Okay, so I have a reference table. Reference table is a good concept in the data quality, where it will act as like a lookup transformation only. So it contains the
what is the use? Reference table?
Reference table is similar to lookup only. You send one value. If it finds, it will use the valid value for that. Okay, I will show that here. So this is a reference table I am opening here. Let me explain theoretically what is a reference table. So reference table is a database object which contains at least two columns, one being the standardized or the valid value, other being the alternative values. Let me show. So this is a reference table called currency from country. So this is the metadata of that reference table object. Two columns. First column is the valid one and second column is the alternative. We can have any number of columns, but we can have only one valid column. Click on data. Okay, so this is a valid column and this is the alternate column. Okay, so let's say, so you are getting some kind of, let's say in the same example only, if you take it, right, or I will show you one more that will be easy to understand, so that I have different reference table country. Yes, I'll open this. It will be easy to understand. I think my services are up now. Yeah, reference table is open. Okay, so in this I have multiple columns. Okay, I have around 5 columns here. First one is the valid, remaining are the alternatives. So see the data. So are you able to make out anything by seeing this? Just give it a guess. Okay, let me explain in this way. Okay.
The name and country are shifted.
Sorry?
Yeah, the name is inconsistent in different columns.
Yeah, basically this one I have defined. So what is the use of this object is, let's say I have a source. Okay. So in that source, I have a column called country. So in the source, I have totally, forget about this valid column. So I have around 3 records. In one record, I'm getting country column as a u.s.a. In another column, in another record, I'm getting US. In another record, I'm getting United States of America. My business rule is that whenever you get these kind of 3 values, replace these 3 with standardized value called USA. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So lookup
So
also
you
similar
set this in the
yeah.
so you set this rule in the
actually
rules,
this
right?
is this will be used in a transformation. Transformation is part of a rule. So I will show you that. Okay, so this is my simple mapping where I have a name and country. Okay, so let me show the data. Just I'm running the preview. So this is one of the cool feature in the developer tool, which we did not have in the Power Center. We have a debugger in the Power Center, but that is only for debugging. We don't have a kind of a preview. Just to drag an object and just right click and run data view. It will show what kind of data is passing through this particular object. Okay, let's say here I have a country called u.s.a, US, United States, China, England, all those things, right? So here my data is not standardized. This is one of the data quality problems. So my business requirement is whenever you hit any kind of USA or US or United States of America, just replace with USA. So how I am achieving that logic is I have used a data quality transformation called standardizer. Okay, in that I have configured that particular reference table. I have configured this reference table. You can see ref table underscore country. I have configured this reference table. Okay, and when I run this transformation, let's see how the data is getting transformed. Let me open the list of email. Still it is running. Basically internally it is submitting this particular request to the DS. The DS will doing the logic for you. Yeah, so this is the output of this transformation. You can see that. So first column, what we have is u.s.a, right? So let's go to the reference table. Let me close this one, which is not required. In the first column, we have u.s.a. So we have that value here, u.s.a. This is replaced with USA. You can see that output here. Standard output. Getting it? So that particular u.s.a is replaced with a standardized value called USA. Similarly, for even you have other data, right? US. So you have US
so how
here.
do you write a reference table?
Reference table is it's not a just we need to create an object here. That's it. So
Okay.
just create a new reference table. It comes something like that. You can do that. So ref underscore country. Generally, I will cover everything in this part of the course, okay? But since you asked me, I'm telling you. So you just enter 2 columns I want and one being the valid. This can be first or anything. So just click on finish. So it will create an empty reference table where we will enter the values and that particular reference table will be used in the transformation. Let me show you that. Basically, internally it is creating one database object with column of this character and precision. So empty table is created. I want to add some data here. So this is a valid. Let's say I want to replace, whenever I get US, replace that with America. So this particular reference table will be used in your standardized transformation. So how do you use that is you create a strategy. It's something like some kind of operation where you select what input you want to pass to this transformation and what is the output, and you select that particular reference table, replace reference table with values, and I'll show you that. So I have created one reference table just now, ref underscore country. So use that here and just run the preview on the transformation. It will give the result. Getting it? Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. So this is a second record. I have organization name and country code and currency. So where I have a reference table which contains the country code and currencies. So country code will be the valid and the currency will be the alternative. So whenever you pass this kind of US dollar, you get what is the country code US. Like that we can maintain for many countries. So we can achieve this logic using the data quality standardizer and the reference table. And the third example is the, let's say you have a contact name and phone number. So you want to split last name to here, middle name, and the phone number. You can. This is not any standardized format. So you put in a standardized format of the USA. So we have some kind of business rules and regular expressions. So that will give the standardized phone number for you. So any questions in this example before I move to the next slide of address validation?
Fine.
Okay. Yeah. So next one is the address validation. So this is also one of the important transformation in the data quality. So what does it do is, let's say you have some customer address. Okay. So I will show you some examples here. So this is a mapping with address validator. I did not create the target. So let's say you have a address. It can be an organization address or a householders. So these are all the columns in my source. I have a building, I have a house number, street, locality. Okay. So I will use my address validator transformation to validate whether this organization is correct or this street is exists in reality, whether the locality is correct or not. I will validate and give you some kind of a validation code C1, C2, V1, V2, so that the a courier company will make a decision that yes, this address is correct. I can really shipment. Okay, so how it really works in the other than India is right. So let's say if you want to send a post to your friend. Okay, so basically what you do, you go to the courier office and you write the address in the envelope and you will hand. Once you left the office, what they will generally do is, okay, most of the companies they have the address validator software or the transformation. So they will enter whatever the address you typed in the envelope in the address validator transformation system and check whether the given address is correct or not. Okay, let's say if the given address is correct, they will start shipping. If it is incorrect, they don't ship it. If it is incorrect, it is a waste of time and money for him. If let's say if you don't validate, you will directly take his bike and just drive to the address and see whether the person is there or the organization is not. That means, let's say that is a duplicate address or that is an invalid address. It's the waste of money and time for him, right? So that is a business loss for them. So before the shipping itself, right, they will make sure that that address is correct or that organization is correct or whether the zip code or locality. There are a lot of attributes that will be covered during the training. So we will validate the address and it will tell whether the address is correct or not only validation, it can correct to the nearest address or it can give the additional information, geocode or the latitude. So I will tell you one example on the address validation. So let's say this is my address 1, address 2, address 3, exactly this is my record. I don't know in which column I am getting what kind of data. In the first column you are getting some kind of a house number and street and you are getting suit, address, city, state, zip code you are getting. Okay, so you have this kind of data with this kind of metadata, and when you pass this kind of input to data quality address validator transformation, okay, it will automatically identify this is a street, this is a city, this is a zip code. It will automatically identify this kind of values and uh, put into respective columns, and it will also give the additional information called latitude, longitude, and G plus 4. Okay, it will enrich, it will improve, it will enhance your input data that will be used in the business use cases.
So this input can be can be fed through any front-end tool or?
As part of our training course, we create a mapping with any relational or flat file object. But Informatica data quality also they have a support of the point of entry from the civil applications. Okay, so you have something that kind of a civil applications. Okay. So they need to buy a separate product for that. There is a separate package for that. Okay, so they will use that package. They will install that package and they will enter the customer name, address, city, state, and they will hit. It will tell that okay, this address is correct or this address is incorrect. Okay.
CRM.
And also CRM applications, and even they have the Excel plugin also. Okay, so you enter some kind of address in the Excel sheet cells. You select the cell range and you select the address structure plugin in the Excel sheet. It will tell the address is correct or not. So that is mainly for the non-IT, more mainly for the business users. Okay, because the business users, business users, he may not be technically aware of what is this MRS, what is this transformation, right? They know more about the data. They are very less know about the technical and the product knowledge. So that is the reason Informatica Corporation will try to target the different kind of people in the business.
Okay.
So the next one is the matching and deduplication. Okay, so I will open one mapping that I create for the matching. Okay. I'm trying to create one, show a mapping that I create using the matching transformation. So this is my customer information. I have the customer ID, company name, house number, all those information I have. Okay, start date, and here I'm trying to group the customers. I'm trying to find the duplicates in this matching transformation. Okay, so let me see whether it is configured correctly to run. Basically, it takes a lot of time to load some populations and run that. That will be covered when we go through the training courses. But what I'm trying to tell is matching transformation is to find the duplicate records in our dataset, or trying to find some kind of relation between the datasets. So why we need to perform matching is, let's say you have a customer data that there are some millions of records. Out of that, you are guessing that there are minimum 30 to 40% duplicates are there. I want to eliminate that. So how do we achieve that? So you use the matching transformation. You find out what are the duplicate records and delete those records from your customer database, or use that duplicate records for further downstream applications. Or you want to find out some kind of a relation. Let's say, give me a list of people who are residing in a same address, are residing in a same household, or give me a persons who are working for same organization. Getting it right? Or give me a persons who are residing in a same city, or give me a list of persons who are residing similar in this county, or give me a list of persons who are living in a specific country. So you get this kind of information using matching transformation. So I will tell you one simple example. Okay, so let's say I forget about the cluster ID here. So let's say I have an input called name and address. So these are all the 5 records, customer names, and this address. Your requirement is find out the duplicate names. So when I perform matching on the name column, I get cluster ID output. Wherever you see cluster ID is same, okay, it means that those 2 records are duplicate. So here you can see David W. Adams and David H.W. Adams. It is mostly same. Okay, just only the H is difference. Okay, this could be a type of problem, or it could be any problem. Okay, so when we run the matching, we generate some scores and we set some threshold. If the generated threshold score is equal or more than the threshold, consider that is a match. Okay, so David W. Adams, David H.W. Adams, these are all almost duplicate. That is the reason I have the same cluster ID. So when the cluster ID is 1 means, it means these are all the same records, these are all the duplicate records. Whenever you see customer cluster ID is unique 2, 3, 4, it means that these are all the non-duplicate, these are all the unique records in the customer database. Getting it?
Yes.
Any questions?
If cluster ID is same, then it is duplicates. If cluster ID is not same,
Very clear.
then it is non-duplicates.
Unique. Correct. Any other question?
So if you have like thousands of duplicate records, so for all the records, the cluster ID will be 1111.
Correct. Simple. You just take one record and copy paste 1,000 times in a notepad and create a source file and create a match transformation and run the preview. It will give cluster ID is 1111.
Okay.
Sandeep, a quick
So
question.
how
For
to-
example, Sandeep,
Yeah,
a
one at
quick
a time.
question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, see here, David W. Adams, it's a duplicate record, and it showed David H. W. Adams. Okay,
Correct.
another, you say on the second row, Bill also has a duplicate record. So for that, how will it show as a cluster ID? One also it shows?
Sorry?
How does it show cluster ID for that?
It will be giving the different cluster ID. Something like, let's say, second, third records are duplicate. For example, let's say Bill J. Hatham, and again here Bill J. Hatham is there. Further cluster ID will be something unique. 2. Getting it right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So basically, it assigns a unique ID. Simple.
Yeah.
Even it can be something 2000 or 3000. Okay. Just to understand this, it assigns a unique ID for all the duplicate records. Simple.
Yeah.
So next one is the business empowerment, simple to use browser-based tools. So what this slide is talking about, I have a tool called developer tool. This is mainly for the stewards and the developers. I have a tool called the analyst. This is mainly used for the business analyst who they are more know about the business and the data. Okay. So these are as I told you earlier, this is the data quality is designed in such a way that role-based clients. This is the analyst client where business analyst role people will be accessing that, and this is used by the developer who is more about the product and technical knowledge, how to create a rules, how to use the product. That is what I'm talking about. So this is the analyst tool where you'll be using the business analyst. Okay, so analyst and stewards, they'll be communicating with each other. I have created a profile. I got this kind of problems. I informed this one. I have created some roles, and they will see the business manager will see the scorecard and see, yeah, this is correct, this is not correct. This is a collaboration approach between the developer and the analyst. Yeah.
One more
so
doubt actually.
Yeah.
Match transformation. Sorry to go to previous.
No
if you have like 1,000 duplicates, we have like a cluster ID will be 1 for 1,000 ones. Whether using match transformation, we can able to determine the total count of duplicates for one cluster ID.
Yeah, sure. So we have one column called cluster size. This is what we are talking about.
Yes.
It will tell what is your cluster size. So in the same example, if we go here, right? So here I have one more column called cluster size. In the cluster size, I have 2 here, 1, 1, 1, 2. Got it, Kirti?
Yeah.
Yeah. So cluster size will tell you that how many number of duplicate records in this particular name. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I'm sure whether I have confidence. Let me just.
So basically, that will be telling you how many people are living in the state of Texas, how many people are living in the state of New York.
Correct. So depend upon the column that you select. Let's say I want to find out all the customer names, okay, of same, or I want to find out the people who are residing in the same address. Okay. So depend upon the column you select. Okay, here I performed matching on the name. Since these first and last are matched, I'm giving the same cluster ID. Let's take one more business use case. I'm interested to find out the matching on the address. Give me a list of records whose address is same, then I will be performing matching on the address column. Since New York is same, these two will be having the same cluster ID and cluster size is 2, and the first and last will be having the different cluster ID of cluster size 2. Basically, depend upon the column you select, it will perform matching on that column and it will give cluster ID and the cluster size. Cluster size will tell you how many duplicates are there. Cluster ID will tell unique ID that I have assigned to all these duplicate names or address. Got it?
Yeah.
So here, let me show you. Okay, so here I perform matching on the company name. Okay, so this is my company name. Okay, so whenever you see the cluster size equal to 1, it means that these are all the unique records. Ericsson cannot be matched with the Bainbridge Co. STSL. You are seeing it? Just go through the data for a minute. I performed matching on the company name. This is the cluster size, and this is the cluster IDs.
So wherever the cluster size is 2, then it will be the duplicates will be there.
Correct. So let me scroll down. Yeah. You can see here. Let's say these two company names.
Let's see.
Derail Industries. Company name is same, so cluster size is 2, and cluster ID is same. Even if you take other two records which are of same. Logica 9999, cluster size 2. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there can be clusters. If the cluster size is more than 2 means, again, I have around some 10 records. If you take this one, HP company, okay. So I have around 10 records with HP. So I give the cluster size 10 and I will give the same ID. Got it?
Yeah.
And again, I have one more company called Altel Supply. Okay, these are 15 times it repeated. So I give the cluster size 15 and the cluster ID is same.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you need to make sure that whenever you are seeing the claim cluster size here, cluster ID should be same. It should not be different. If it is a different, then there is a bug in the product.
Okay.
Khan, are you clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine. So matching is done, and
Okay, so these are the matching, right? So you mean these are the duplicates, right?
correct. These are all the duplicates.
Okay, so to delete them, we have to create a new source table and the target table and fix it there, or how do we delete them?
Again, it's a business requirement. Let's say you want to, let's say in the customer database, let's say this is a customer database, you have duplicates. My business requirement is, okay, take only the unique customers and put in the database. Or we have one more transformation called consolidation, where it will take one record out of this duplicate record, it will create a master data set and load into your database. Again, the business drive use case basically. So here it will tell what are the duplicate customers you have. So after that, you can directly load only the cluster size of one records, or you can use other data quality transformation called consolidation, where it will take one record out of these duplicate records. So here you have 15 Altel supplies, right? Okay. Now my business requirement is load all the company names only one time. Okay, so for that, what I will be doing is I will create one more transformation called consolidation. Okay, so it will take one record from all the duplicates. So this is called consolidation here. So you create a consolidation transformation. Okay, you pass this data to consolidation transformation. So we will select some group by port in the consolidation. So what it will do, it will consolidate multiple records into one record based upon the group by port and some logic we need to configure. So it will give one out of many duplicates. So this will be more understandable when we take the class on the match transformation, the consolidation. What I'm trying to tell in this demo is what is data quality, what are the different transformations, what you can do with this basically capabilities.
Okay, so here I have a question, right? So since you got 15 duplicates, so
Right.
is this told you before? I mean, like once you get that BRD, is it written there? Like what to do with those duplicates, or you have to go back to the business people and ask them what to do with these duplicates?
Yes. Yeah. You need to check with the business people why we got the duplicates. Is there any problem in the point of entry, or what are the different upstream applications we are using, and what is the logic they have implemented to get the data, or what we need to do with these duplicates. It's entirely business use case requirement driven. So this tool tell that what you can do with these requirements. Let's say my business requirement, my business people tell that just load all the customer names only once, all the company names. Okay, so then you can use the consolidated transformation to take one out of these duplicates and write into master database. So at the end of the day, you have a customer database of all the unique records. You can use the table for a master database. Let's say tomorrow one more company comes, you can just really look up into that, see whether there's a new company or the existing company. So in this way, you can make sure that you have a customer database, master database, which is having unique, there are no duplicates, which are designed using this data quality match transformation consolidation, and that can be used in the further logics. Got it?
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah. So this is called unified role specific tools for all stakeholders. Okay, so what here tells that is IT developer, he can create the mapping, and we have a flexibility of, you just right click and just profile or run data viewer. Okay, so let me run one profiling. So here we have flexibility of just right click the map, right click the transformation and run the preview, data preview. So what is the advantage? Let's say you have a requirement, you're designing a mapping with some 30 or 40 transformations with a lot of complex logic. Okay, so but you want to check the whether your logic is working, whether it is suiting your business requirement, then we can use this data viewer concept. So it will tell whether your data is coming correctly or not. Basically, it will take your input data and it will process against your logic and it will tell the result. So that you can assume that yes, my logic is working, then I will go with the next further downstream transformations. So advantage is right, if you don't provide the data viewer, okay, so after creating entire mapping, you run and open the target file and see that, oh, this is my result. No, I should not be getting this kind of output data. I need to do something else. Okay, so again, you need to come backtrace where is the completely problem, where I need to change it. Okay, it again, it's a lot of cost involvement, time involvement, right? So using the data viewer, you implement some logic and see whether the logic and the business requirement matches and proceed further. Getting it? So this is called midstream profiling. So midstream profiling are same thing. Just now I have run the one profiling. So I have done the, here we have two concepts on the transformations. Run data viewer, it will run the logic in the transformation and it will see the output. Profile, when you in the profile, it will give the different values on this column. This is a key generator. So go to results here. So I have a column called sequence ID. These are all the different values for the sequence ID. So these are the different values and what is their occurrence, frequency. So mostly all are 1. And I have a group key. So I have 158 records are null in that. And I have a company name. In that frequency is 15. Okay, it's also from some kind of matching. So in the company name, I have these 15 records. Altel Supply is 15, and Ericsson is a 15. World African is a network, all these things. Let's say if you want to see all those 6 records, just right click and drill down. So it will show all these 6 records in here. This is called drill down. This is nothing but a midstream profiling. In middle of the mapping, you are doing profiling that is called midstream, so that you can see all these 6 records here. These are all the 6 records which are having this company. So this is mainly for some kind of analysis you want to perform.
So again, these are the duplicates, right?
Yes, these are the duplicate records. I use the same mapping to run the profiling. It will tell us how much percentage. What is the best part is you can see the percentage. So 9%, 6% of the total data set, these are all the duplicates. It tells in the point of percentage level and how many uniques are there, how many nulls are there, and what is the null percentage, what is the data types. It gives more information about data and metadata. This is mainly used by the business analyst to see what kind of data and what kind of metadata information is there in the our data sets. So this is called midstream profiling. So you can do profiling on a source object. So this, let's say your source object is there in a mapping. So you can do the profiling here, or you can do profiling on any object in the mapping. So you can do profiling on the source, or you can do profiling on middle of the mapping on any transformations. So it's called midstream profiling. Profile at any point in the data flow to see what is going in. The last slide is interesting. So DQ mapping integration with Power Center. Okay. So let's say I have developed a mapping in the developer tool. Okay. Let's say I have developed this mapping in the developer tool. So I want to use this one in the Power Center. So what you can do is that we have a deployment feature. Okay. So you just right click the mapping. So this is my mapping. Okay. Just right click. You can deploy this to Power Center. So export, select here, and there is an option called Power Center. Click on next. You select the Power Center repository and specify the Power Center repository username, password, and all those details. So it will deploy. Basically, it will take this mapping and put in the Power Center repository folder. So this is the developer mapping I have. So when I deploy this one, I can say it is a push to understand for you. So when I push this mapping to developer tool to Power Center, it will appear something like this. So why we need to push is, let's say the Power Center we have we have this workflow monitor, we have this schedulings and all, right? So Power Center is mainly in the real-time use cases. Customers will be using Power Center mainly for the production, and the DQ is for the development. In the DQ, they will make use of these advanced features, and they will create the mappings, and they will deploy this mapping to the Power Center, and they will use as part of their production systems. And one more advantage of using the Power Center is we have performance is good in the Power Center compared to data quality. Why? Because data quality is just getting started. So it will take time to improve the performance in DQ. Okay, I could not say it is a performance is bad, but PC is having a good connectivity, scalability. They have the batch access, they have the rich connectivity. So once this particular mapping is pushed to Power Center, you can use of any existing Power Center features, something like a session recovery or grid or high availability or whatever you want to do it, you can do that. So customers will be, if they mainly PC will be using the production system, the DQ will be in the development scenarios. They will deploy and they will make use of the Power Center features, and they will go ahead.
So what are the type of sources we can connect with IDQ? All type of sources?
Yeah.
Like SAP, relational.
Correct. Yes.
As same as Power Center.
Correct. But I'll be concentrating on only the flat file and sometime in relational, because it doesn't matter what type of source you configure. It really matters what kind of data quality transformation you use, what kind of data you get, and what kind of logic you are implementing for what use cases. That is what my training will concentrate about.
Okay.
So any questions? Okay, let me show you this analyst tool also. So this is analyst tool. Business analyst will be logging here. Okay, so all the projects, whatever you have created here, everything will be shown here. Because MRS is shared across this one. So these are all the 5 projects I have. You are able to see all the 5 projects. So all the objects, whatever, all the folders, everything will be displayed here. So this is mainly used by the business analyst. Here we cannot create any mappings or any transformations, or not of that kind. This is mainly used for we create a profile, create a scorecard, create a reference tables, create a profile out of a reference tables, and it's mainly for analysis purpose. So here we have an option called create a profile or create a new reference table, create a table. So these are all the steps we have. Here I have created some reference tables here. So we can create a reference table from this tool, even from this tool also. In the previously, before 9.5, they have provided creation of reference table work from the analyst tool. But after there is ask from the field that even the developer also want to create the reference tables, then they have provided the feature also. So, but what is the advantage in reference table usage in the analyst is, let's say if you want to change any metadata, let's say you want to add one more column to this particular reference table, here you cannot do that. You cannot do anything related to the metadata. You cannot delete a column, or you cannot change the valid column, or you cannot add a column, right? So you can do here only the data related changes. You can delete or you can create anything, you can do that. Okay. So all the data changes can be done through developer and the list. But if the metadata changes comes into requirement, then user has to come here and he has to change the data. So here, click on this edit metadata. So edit table. So here you can create new columns, or you can change the valid column, or you can delete. Okay, you can do many things here. This is mainly some kind of a administration, or if you want to change the metadata, you want to add a column. And after that, if you want to see the audit trail, something like what are the different changes has been done on this particular object. So click on show, you can see what are the different data changes has been happened for this particular object. Who has done that? Since I think there is no changes. Okay, what I will do is I will just modify this. So now I'll do audit trail. Just I want to see the what are the changes has been done on this particular object. Yes. So what is the status? This particular row has been edited. Who is the user? Since I logged in as administrator, it shows the administrator. What is the time? And what is the column? Okay. So this particular column 3 has modified. Okay. So it will tell all this information. What is the value it has changed it. So why this kind of information required is, let's say I'm a business analyst, I'm a business manager, so I want to see what are the different changes a particular object is undergoing, some kind of audit. So we have one more option called just you can export this audit trail into Excel sheet where I can see out of this tool also. So to find out the tracking changes, let's say some business analyst is unknowingly made some changes which is affecting the mapping output results. Then business manager will come to know that he will get the export of this audit trail information, see who is the user made this particular column value to so and so. So they are able to find the person who has made the changes, or they're able to track the changes basically. So this is the analyst tool. So this is the developer tool. Any questions before I have done with my presentation. So do you have any questions before we log off?
So this course covers all the data quality aspects entirely.
Yeah, most of the data quality transformations. I think you might be receiving that course guide from the Ishwar or the Karthik, right? I have sent the course guide to him.
Okay.
What
Data profiling you're covering, right?
Sorry?
What is
Data
the
profiling.
Yeah. Profiling is there. First to start with, profiling is there, scorecard is there, and data quality transformations will be there. And some of the business use cases, something like I'll show you. So let's say how these are all the business use cases that we worked on. Let's say you have some Canada address. How do you validate that? Which is coming in a different hybrid or multi-line? Or you want to validate the state, so you want to validate the zip code. Okay, these are all the business requirements generally people will get. Let's say they have some address. The requirement is just validate the state or correct the zip code or check that. Or let's say match. Let's say you want to perform some kind of matching. Perform matching on the name, or perform matching on family, or perform matching on the SSN, perform matching on individual names, or perform matching on the email, date, phone number, address. These are the business use cases. I'll be some of the business use cases I'll be covering as part of my course.
Okay.
Khan, any other questions?
No, I'm really clear with what you're explaining.
Okay.
And what is the duration?
It will be around 24 hours, Khan.
Okay.
24 days, huh?
So,
25 hours.
it will be at the same time.
Okay.
I will let you know the timings. Okay. Either if it is a morning, it will be this timings only 6:30 to 7:30, or if it is the evening time, it will be around 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. my time, IST. So I will let you know the timings once I will talk to Ishwar and so respective persons.
Okay.
Okay, Sandeep, I have a question. You said I didn't get that time when you said that when we do the address validation. You said we have a different tool for the address validation, and
No,
we
it's not a tool, right? So basically, uh, how it works is, right, each and every country have this postal department, right? If you take the US, it is USPS, United States Postal Agencies, right? So they will maintain all the customer address and names, right? So that kind of information will be taken by the Informatica Corporation. That file, that information will be in a file called USA.md, Canada.md, China.md, Afghanistan.md, Brazil.md. So all these are all the MD files will be used by the address validated transformation to find out the given address is correct or not.
Okay.
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 So this address doctor, basically it is some kind of a address doctor engine which will read your input and look upon the MD file and see whether the given address is correct or not.
Okay, but the same job we can do in the IDQ as well. That's what you mean?
Yeah, that's what. IDQ is the address factor only. Don't confuse about the. I spoke about the internals of the how address validated transformation works. Okay.
Fine. And you said the timing will be 8:30 p.m. IST?
Yeah, 8:30 p.m. IST. Yeah, again dates. I will let. Why? Because this is a demo class. I don't know how many people will be turning to my class. Even I will be running some other classes also. So if I get here anything from Karthik, Ishwar or Karthik, okay. So I will propose the final timings. But the timings are either morning 6:30 to 7:30 or evening 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. IST.
Okay.
I will let you know if everything goes fine because I need to work out with the